Hello and welcome back to Kim Reads as we continue with changes for Kirsten. Chapter 2 Fire. After supper, Lars and John divided the pelts into two equal piles. John took his share home. Lars and Kirsten took theirs to the barn. Kirsten put an empty nail box, lined it with hay, and put the little raccoon inside. It nestled down and closed its eyes. Then Kirsten and Lars pulled the pelts over wooden stretchers and scraped them down with knives. As she scraped the pelts, Kirsten watched the raccoon sleep. It seemed tame already. She thought there was no need to worry about it causing trouble. Soon Mama came to the barn to call him for bed. Her eyes went wide when she saw the raccoon in the box. "Children, why did you bring a raccoon home? You know how much mischief they cause," she said. "Remember the raccoon that stole fish from our supper right off the table?" Lars looked up from his work. This raccoon was knocked out by a trap. Kirsten brought it home so it could get on its feet again. "Wild animals don't want to be touched," Mama said. "If you pick it up, maybe it's sick. Sick animals can be dangerous." Kirsten covered the raccoon's back with a piece of wood. "It's not sick, Mama. It's aged and needs rest. When it's stronger, I'll let it go," she said softly. She thought of John's smile when he put the little raccoon in her hands. John wanted to be her friend. Mama pulled the thick shawl over her head. Even in the barn, it was shivering cold tonight. "I don't think your papa would want a wild animal in the barn. Be sure you keep it in the box, Kirsten." Lars picked up the lantern and put on his head on Mama's shoulder. "Let's go back to the cabin, Mama. Don't worry, it's just a little raccoon. Kirsten will take care of it." Mama sighed. "But you mustn't bring it near the cabin, and let it go the minute it seems well. Do you promise?" "I promise," Kirsten said quickly. She thought about her mother looked very tired. Mom had so much work these days, and she had missed Papa. They all missed Papa. Before they left the barn, Kirsten put the raccoon's box under the hay where it was warmer. "Get well," she whispered to the sleeping raccoon. "Get well quickly." When Kirsten woke up the next morning, the first thing she thought was a raccoon, but there wasn't time for her to go look at it. She had to feed baby Britta her oatmeal. She thought about breakfast forever then. Today was baking day, and Mama was already visiting baking dough for their bread. "Kirsten, I'm going up to Aunt Inger's house to make our bread in her big oven," she said. She picked up the tray of dough. "While I'm gone, I want you to wash out the diapers and help Peter learn his numbers and look after Britta," Kirsten finished for Mama. Mama smiled. "That baby sister of yours does need a lot of looking after, doesn't she?" "She crawls everywhere," Peter said. Britta pulled herself up on his knee and tugged at the slates he held. In her long flannel dress and many sweaters, Britta was as chubby as a bear cub. She was sweet, but she was a lot of trouble, too. Peter raised the slate out of her reach. "I wish it wasn't too cold to have school," he said. "I've never heard you wish for school before," Mama said. "Britta can't come to school," Peter scowled. Mama rumpled his yellow hair with her free hand. "I know it's hard to be cooped up in the cabin all winter. Soon it'll be spring, and you'll be out running again. While I'm gone, you must shell these walnuts, Peter. When I get back, I'll make a little cake for supper. Be good children." "Yes, Mama," Kirsten said as Mama went out the door. Kirsten wished she could go to Aunt Inger's house and play with her cousins, Anne and Elizabeth. She wished she could go to the trap line again today with Lars and John, but Mama needed her to stay in the cabin and work. Kirsten kept eyes off the window and gazed out the barn. Was the little raccoon getting better? Was it warm enough in the box? Maybe just take a quick peek at it before she did the washing. "Peter, you hold Britta for a minute, will you? I'm going to run to the barn. When I get back, I'll tell you why." Peter looked grumpy, but he held out his arms for the baby. Without buttoning her sweater, Kirsten raced to the barn. She dug the raccoon's box out from under the hay and peeked under the board. Good. The raccoon's eyes were wide open. The little thing trembled with cold. It missed its warm nest with other raccoons. Kirsten decided that if it looked to the box of the cabin just for a little while, the raccoon would warm up and get stronger more quickly. She took the box on her arm and ran back. Kirsten set the box by the cook stove. "Come look, Peter." Peter put the baby down in the center of the bed and crouched beside Peter. She lifted the board. Peter peered in. "Kirsten, what a funny face it has. It looks so friendly." Before Kirsten warned him not to, Peter scooped up the raccoon-legged toy and sat on the floor. Right away, the raccoon dashed under the bed. "Catch it, Peter," Kirsten said. Peter flopped onto his belly and grabbed the scampering raccoon. The frightened animal was too quick for him. It darted under the floor under a chair. We have to catch it. Kirsten snatched out of the raccoon's striped tail. It might break something. Raccoon raced up the chair and left on a shelf by the cook stove. As it scurried across the shelf, it knocked a tin cup and candle on the floor. Breda laughed out loud. She thought the chase was a new game, but Kirsten was alarmed. "Peter, get it back in the box," she cried. Her fingers brushed the raccoon's paw. She almost had it. Kirsten knew the raccoon wanted to get out of the cabin and back in the woods. Maybe she'd open the door and let it run free, but before she could open the door, the raccoon jumped on top of the table. Peter reached with both hands. The raccoon leapt and tipped over the oil lamp that sat on the table. The oil lamp crashed on the floor and broke. Flames shot up from the spilled oil that caught the tablecloth. "Oh, no, 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 no!" Kirsten cried. She jerked the burning cloth from the table and stamped on it, but now the oil spread. Suddenly the oil was a trail of fire across the floor. How could she put out the fire? She dumped the water into it, but that wasn't enough. The burning oil crept under the bed where Britta sat. Kirsten grabbed the baby and pushed her into Peter's arms. "Run to Aunt Inger's, Peter. Tell everyone to help. Tell them to bring water." She opened the door and showed Peter on his way. The raccoon darted out right by his heels. "Peter, hurry," she called after him. Kirsten grabbed the coffee pot and splashed it on the fire under the bed. But that didn't help either. Oh, if only she had more water, a lot more water. Already flames had caught the blanket and the straw mattress. She beat at them with a rug. But quickly the fire spread out the cabin where all the clothes hung. Moment by moment the fire grew stronger. The cabin was burning down. What could she save? She picked up the candlesticks Mama had brought from Sweden. Would Mama want her candlesticks most of all? Maybe the rifle was more important or the stew pot. But there wasn't time to think. Kirsten I caught the big blue trunk that once held everything her family owned in America. The family Bible and their extra clothes were stored in that trunk. Sure, it was the most important thing of all to save. She shoved the rifle and candlesticks in the trunk and latched the lid. But the trunk was so heavy, Kirsten could hardly budge it, and now the flames were climbing into the rafters over her head. Somehow she dragged the trunk to the door. Then she got it and shoved. The fire crackled at her back. The flames roared. The shingle roof overhead. "Hurry, hurry, hurry." She put her shoulder up to the trunk and then pushed it again. As the trunk went through the door, Mama and Aunt Inger came running. "Mama, help me!" Kirsten cried. "Kirsten, come here." Mama grabbed Kirsten's hand and pulled her away from the burning cabin. Aunt Inger yanked the trunk away. Now Elizabeth and Anna and Peter came with buckets of water. They tossed the water at the fire. "More water," Aunt Inger cried. She filled her apron with snow and pitched to the fire. Elizabeth and Anna filled their buckets with snow to toss to the flames. Peter and Kirsten scooped snow with their hands and threw it out. The flames only leaped higher. Fire filled the cabin and burst out the window and the door. The cabin burned like a giant bonfire, sending sparks into the cold air. "It's too late," Mama cried. "Get back, everyone. Get back. Don't get hurt." As they backed away, the cabin roof crushed down the flames with a roar. All they could do was watch what was left of their home went up in black smoke. Aunt Inger hugged Mama, and Mama hugged Kirsten and Peter, and Anna and Elizabeth hugged each other. Tears rolled down Mama's face. "We're all safe. That's the most important thing," she said softly. She pressed Peter and Kirsten together. "You two are safe. The baby is safe. Kirsten even saved our trunk, but what will we do now?" "You'll come live in our house with us," Aunt Inger said. "It won't be bad. You'll see. You can start all over again. Don't cry, dears." But Kirsten couldn't stop crying. Their pillows were burning, and their blankets, and their sweaters, and even diapers for Britta. Their spoons were burning, and their tin plates and mugs, and even the wash tub and the mixing bowls. All they had left in the world were the clothes on their backs and the things in the trunk. How could they possibly get along? How could they possibly start over? And what would Papa say when he heard their home had burnt to the ground? She buried her face in Mama's shawl and wept. And that's the end of that chapter. See you later.